Okay, Yanni, just one more story. Oh, hello. Merry Christmas. Oh, it's me, Ian. Just wearing my mask, staying safe. This is a Home Alone mask that I got from sophisticate.ca. I love it. And it's very appropriate because tonight I'm reading you the story of Home Alone, adapted by myself. Now, it's important that I tell you, I adapted this having not watched the movie in a couple of years. So it's all from memory. But I had this basically memorized when I was a child, so it should be pretty close. Okay. Home Alone. 'Twas the lead up to Christmas, and all through the house, everybody was stirring because they were going to Paris in the morning. The family ate pizza. Fuller drank Pepsi with ease. Kevin couldn't find a slice with only plain cheese. Buzz was a jerk, and Kevin charged at his gut. They threw out Kevin's wet ticket. Foreshadowing or what? Kevin was locked up in the attic with no care, wishing in the morning his family wouldn't be there. Outside was a storm. It arose such a clatter. The wind knocked out the power. No one noticed. No matter. Morning came and the family, they rushed through the house, while Kevin stayed sleeping, quiet as a mouse. When Kevin awoke, his family gone, it was clear. But they didn't go to the airport. Their cars are still here. Sitting and pondering with a moment of fear, excitement then grew. I made my family disappear. He did all the things that kids think are cool. Then he passed out in his dad's chair, covered in ice cream drool. Up in the sky on a plane bound for France, Kevin's mom realized she forgot him and nearly shit her pants. A couple of guys who were up to no good were checking out the automatic Christmas lights in the neighborhood. They looked at Kevin's house, and Harry exclaimed, "That's the Golden Goose, Marv." Now you know both their names. They went to investigate and steal through the night, but Kevin was home, and they were spooked by the light. They decided to come back when they were sure they'd be gone, but Kevin had a trick up his sleeve and a new favorite song. He was rocking around the Christmas tree, throwing a party with Michael Jordan for the bad guys to see. Harry and Marv, the wet bandits now known, were frustrated by the activities inside Kevin's home. Kevin then went shopping, basking in his glory, where he saw Old Man Marley. Now, he's important to the story. Buzz had told him Marley was a killer, that dink. Kevin fled with a stolen toothbrush, escaping through the skating rink. On his way home, with evidence held in his hand, he was not paying attention and was nearly killed by a van. Harry smiled at Kevin and showed his tooth of gold. Kevin was glad he had his toothbrush to avoid this when he's old. As he walked away from these weirdos, they followed him slowly. But Kevin's no dummy. He started walking more boldly. As he picked up the pace, the wet bandits followed faster, but Kevin escaped, that slippery little bastard. The wet bandits were prowling and seeking, wasting gas. Meanwhile, Kevin was decorating the house for Santa's fat ass. Through the window, Kevin saw them. "Dad, come help me," he did bark. "We'll come back tonight. Kids are scared of the dark." But Kevin heard them scheming, and his hands became steady. "They're coming at 9, and you bet I'll be ready." He drew up a floor plan, his house not to scale, and set up some traps with some things to impale. He had paint cans, glue, feathers, blowtorches, and more. Is he Jigsaw from the Saw films, only many years before? With so much to do, to find Santa he went, to wish for his family back, and with Tic Tacs he was sent. He stopped into a church because he had time to spare. A choir was singing to empty pews, except one. Old Man Marley was there. He sat and Kevin learned he's not a bad guy. However, he did try to pimp out his granddaughter. Kevin let out a sigh. He better get home, or he won't get to eat his Kraft dinner. Oh, too late for that. Shouldn't have prayed. Stayed a sinner. The bandits were punctual. They showed up right at 9. They went to the back door, where Kevin was primed. He shot them with BBs and caused them to split. Harry went to the front, and Marv, the dim-wit, down the basement stairs with crowbar in hand, didn't expect the ice, and at the bottom he did land. Harry found ice too, on the front steps to the door. He slipped, and he slipped, and he slipped a lot more. He flew back so far and landed on his neck. He's probably dead, or at least paraplegic. But he got up on his feet and crawled to the door, where a hot doorknob waited to burn in and score. Marv forced his way into the basement so dark. He tried to turn on the light, but an iron fell, left a mark. Harry changed his plans, went to the back door again, but a blowtorch was waiting to cook his beanie in. Marv moved up the stair of tar, his shoes and socks did remove, just in time for the rusty nail to go in so smooth. Harry kicked in the door, no more chances he's taking. "I'm coming to get you, kid!" There would be no mistaking. As he walked through the house, standing tall like a man, he walked into some glue and was blown feathers from a fan. Now, instead of watching his step and going back up the basement stairs, Marv climbed back up the ice steps to a window with Bear. Feet he climbed through, stepping on glass bulbs popping, feet stricken. It's where he saw Harry. Why, you dressed like a chicken. No time to explain. On the stairs, Kevin waited. "Are you thirsty for more?" The wet bandits never hesitated. Had they looked at the ground as they ran, they'd have seen, but they didn't, so they were thrown by the micro machines. Kevin moved up the steps further to the second floor land. As these two fools followed, they were slugged by paint cans. Kevin tried to evade them with tripwire on the ground, but Marv saw Harry fall, and he jumped with a bound. He grabbed Kevin's leg. He was thwarted for sure, but Kevin saw his brother's tarantula. I should have mentioned it before. He put it on Marv's face, and he shrieked like Barry Gibbs. Kevin escaped to the attic, and Marv crowbarred Harry's ribs. From the window, Kevin ziplined to his treehouse across the yard. The wet bandits tried to cross it. Kevin cut the rope. They crashed hard. He ran to the neighbors to get them to follow, but Harry got wise, and the invite was hollow. As Kevin trudged through flooded basement the bandits had wet, Harry and Marv went through the front door, and Kevin they did get. They hung him from a hook. His poor sweater was stretched. They planned to do all the things to him that his traps they did fetch. But as Harry's hunger for cannibalism made him try to eat Kevin's fingers, they didn't notice the old man who behind them did linger. Now remember I said Old Man Marley was important to the story? Well, here he is saving Kevin's life. It's he who deserves glory. The police arrive and they take away our bad guys. But Kevin is sad. He has tears in his eyes. See, it's Christmas Eve, and he's home alone. But his mom is with John Candy, playing on his trombone. When Kevin wakes up to see fresh snow on the ground, he rushes downstairs to see the presents in a mound. But there are no presents, and his family's not there either. Santa's a piece of shit. I'm no longer a believer. But as his head falls down and disappointment sets in, he hears the voice of his mother. "Merry Christmas, Kevin." "But where's everyone else? Aren't they here too?" "Well, they're still out in Paris. It's just me and you." But the front door bursts open. Kevin's expression is blank. "Everyone's here. Fuck. Even Uncle Frank." "What did you do here alone this holiday season?" "Just hung around." Then they laugh for no reason. See, they didn't know that he was strung up on a hook. Will anyone tell them what went on in this book? Are they aware that Kevin thwarted a robbery or two? Or is that going to be something just between me and you? Hopefully they've learned their lesson about travel at the holidays. Just stay home. Your house is huge anyways. What can't Chicago offer at Christmas Paris can? That's a good point I've made, but Kevin's dad has a plan. Next Christmas we'll go to Florida, where it's warm and sunny. This won't happen again. That wouldn't be funny. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this tale of Christmas action and gloom. I'll leave you with Buzz's words. Kevin, what have you done to my room? Merry Christmas. And wear your damn mask.